Cover story, the story behind the covers. Hi, I'm Gary Levine, and this time we're going to take a look at how covers are created for vintage paperbacks, and we're going to look at some photos of models and that the artists used to create these covers. Specifically, we're going to look at the work of Saul Levine, who in the 50s and 60s did a lot of paperback covers, and we're going to look at some of how those covers were created. And they were created by he would get, like many other artists at the time, they would get models. Steve Holland was one of the models. He's very famous. Lila Lynn was another woman model that was used, and many others that were famous models, and we know their images on the covers of paperback books. And the thing is that with the advent of Ed Halse's books, The Art of Pulp Fiction, which looked at paperback cover art, amongst other books that came out before that, books on McGinnis, McGuire, and everything. Collectors collect the books and they collect the paintings, but they also collect they also have interest in how the paintings were created, and they collect the photos of the artists, of models that they used on the book covers. And so in some cases, we're going to look at some of those now. These are Saul Levine. These photos we were able to obtain through the kind assistance of Ken Farrell of Just Kids Nostalgia. And here's one of, here's actually Steve Holland. And if you can see, here's the actual negative. I don't know if you can see that with the light.
Hold it a little closer to the table, where it's a lighter surface.
Like
right,
that?
right, yeah.
Okay, so you can see, make out a little bit of the image, the shadow of the image. But this is the actual photo, actual negative that was taken during this 1950s photo session. And then this is the photo that that's from that negative, and it's of Steve Holland. And you can see that they oftentimes dressed up the models in some kind of close proximity to what they were going to use for the image. Here's a cowboy. He's got a cowboy hat on. He's got a rifle, you know. But it's not exact, because the artist would always change things when he did the art. A good example of that is the cover for She Shark, which is the Ace. It's S159. It's a paperback original from 1958, and this has this is a Saul Levine cover. And in this one, you have Steve Holland and you have Lila Lynn. Now, what he did was this is one of the photos from that photo shoot. So there may be other photos where they are a little more exact to what Saul painted here than this photo, because he certainly used Steve Holland pretty much. But you can see that Lila Lynn is a little different image, gave her a different dress, different hairstyle, and all of that. But on the other hand, he could have just taken her image and sometimes the artist just painted them differently. And then he had other faces here. There may be photos which we haven't seen
Looks like Steve Holland again.
People. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be probably. There probably is another photo somewhere of Steve Holland, just his face that they just put in here. But you can see, so this is definitely, if not the, probably not the actual photo that he used for She Shark. Aside from the fact that, you know, there is some differences, the telltale thing that we found is when you have pinholes in the top of the corners of the photos, that indicates that the artist used thumbtacks to hold up the photo while he was working, painting. So this one doesn't have any pinholes in it. But we have many photos that we do have the pinholes in them, and you can see that they definitely were used by the artist to paint that particular cover painting. So this is definitely from the photo shoot, And there's another photo, probably a little more closer to this, that he used for this she shark. But this is definitely from the she shark photo shoot. Another photo, other photos that were used is Steve Holland again as a cowboy with a rifle gun. Here, is that Steve Holland?
Mm-mm.
That's not right. Yeah, as a policeman. I don't know what this cover is, but it sure looks familiar. I have to do research on some of these. My wife bought a bunch of these from Kennett, just kids nostalgia, and some of them you can tell right away, see exactly what that image is from, but others aren't. And some of them they're very interesting. That I'm going to show you some that are pretty cool, kind of give you an idea. So you have Murder Can't Wait, which is a graphic book, number 117, graphic murder mystery. And so the artwork, I mean the photos from that, I don't know if we have the girl, but you can see here that this is the photo. This is the photo for this section of the art, this small part of the art here. It's interesting that you can see over here on the back cover, this photo, again, I think that's Steve Holland.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that's the photo that he used there. So there's multiple photos that were used. Don't know where this one is.
That girl on the back cover is an image for another cover.
This one here.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know where this is from, but you can see that this photo was used here, that this photo of Steve Holland was used here. So they definitely put these together. You have probably 5 photos that were used for this cover of Murder Can't Wait. The next one we're going to look at is one that for a long time people had thought was a Robert Maguire cover, and that's Female Convict, Pyramid number 58. And that's in the inside story of a woman's prison, is what goes on in a woman's prison. And the photos from that,
Saul
Levine did the cover, not Robert Maguire, although it was thought Robert Maguire did. So here's the photo for this woman here. And then here's the photo for this woman. Now, these two women, we don't have photos for identified yet. We may have them, but we haven't found them. But you can see that the 2 photos here definitely used for the cover of Female Convict by Saul Levine.
And it's the same girl.
And it's the same girl too. But he changed, the artists would change the hair coloring and the look of a model, like really like that. And
This one.
the next one is interesting. One Touch of Blood by Sam Sinclair Baker. It's a graphic mystery paperback from the 50s. Hard-boiled bad girl cover. Saul Levine again. All of these are by Saul Levine. And here's the photo of the model for that cover. He definitely softened her up a bit because she's kind of tough.
She looks like Hazel.
A little tough and rough looking, Hazel is for those of you who may not remember back that far,
showing my age.
A maid from, it was a TV show of a feisty maid in the 1950s. But yeah, she's got a kind of a rough look to her a little bit, and here he really softened her up a little bit. Now there's probably the guy here is.
I think we have that image also.
I think I just saw that actually. I wonder. Just curious. Let me look.
Oh, look in the one under it. The yellow, right, that one with the 4.
Yeah, okay. I'm pretty
We're
sure.
discovering something on camera.
Yes, right on camera here. This is literal history is being made.
There he is. Right there.
There he is. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so here we go. Here's the cover of One Touch of Blood. There's the girl, and here's the guy, Steve Holland again.
That's not Steve
Oh,
Holland.
it's not Steve Holland.
No.
I can't see. Upside down, everybody looks like Steve
It's
Holland.
under him is Steve Holland, but that's not him.
Yeah. So here we go. That's the guy. Definitely the same. Same. The photo is, he just used that exact. Used her exact, softened her up a little bit. So that
Keep
goes
those
with
together,
this.
guys.
Yeah. Okay, so these go together. So we just found something. We all discovered something together. It's the way it should be. That's nice. But see, there's so many model photos that are taken during sessions, and so many are used.
So many of them start looking the same.
Yeah, they do. It's interesting how it works out, though. Here's Apache Devil by Edwin Corley. Apache Devil was actually the title of Edgar Rice Burroughs' Western novel, but this is not that book. This is Pyramid number 63. Originally it was called Fig Tree John. And this is the cover. And this is the photo from that cover. That became that cover. And he changed her hair a little bit, gave her a little more hair. He gave the model here long hair. And I would bet that there's a photo somewhere of this guy coming in the doorway, and that he probably used that, but we don't have that. So that's
like the same one as the one we just saw.
Yeah, similar. Yeah. Well, they took a lot of generic kind of photos that they used. They had all these artists, like Bob McGuire told me, like he had a photo morgue. He had Bob McGuire had filing cabinets full of along with his own personal records of his artwork and contracts and all of that, and cover sketches and things like that. He had also Lou Glanzman had a big file, a morgue, and he just would, for years, he would take out. Both of them would take photos from magazines, things that they saw, images. It was just a collection of images, and they usually by subject. Woman with a gun, whatever it is, and he have those images to use, and they kept morgues like that for those purposes.
And McGuire said, excuse me, he never used the same image on a cover, but we found so many.
Yeah.
I guess he just didn't remember anymore.
Maybe.
Either.
Maybe. Here's some digest. Woman of Passion, also known as Three Times Sinner, by Norman Bly. This is a cameo book, number 344 from the 50s. There's the Woman of Passion. And the photo. Now that is a enlargement of the photo that he would use of the girl. But the actual photo for the whole thing is here. So because you can see the guy here, that she's looking at this guy who's come in onto the room, and he's here, kind of in the shadows. So there's a man here. So this is the photo that they took, that Saul or whoever his photographer was.
It looks like he married those photos to me. It looks like it's her pose, her body pose of that picture with her head on the other photo.
Yeah, probably. So you could see how, and a lot of times also what they did was they would, for contrast, they would have photos that were dark, and then some of them were lighter.
Yeah,
the same photo.
Ken had two for every image.
Yeah.
One was a light, and one was a dark.
Right, to show the contrast, make the artist be able to see the contrast more clear, because that's what he has to do. And the last one we're going to take a look at is Harry Whittington Uni book, number 58, and it's Cracker Girl by Harry Whittington. Paperback original, 1958. And here we have again two images on the cover. And we've got 2 images for the cover. So what we've got the girl here, and that's her. Different dress, red hair. She's still got the hammer toe, if you notice. So it's like still the hammer toe girl. I don't know who she is, but she's the girl on the cover of Cracker Girl. And the guy, this is the guy, except he reversed the photo, reversed the image, and used him this way. So probably used, see, like this much of this photo, reversed it, and here it is, and here's the girl. So I think it's pretty cool that you can get a look at how the artists put together these great paperback cover art that we all love so much and enjoy, and that's collected. The paintings are collected, but there's other aspects to this hobby, as far as just the collecting the paperback books, collecting the paintings when you can get them, if you can get them, which they're prohibitively expensive and going up and up in price, or even buying books like Ed Hulse's fine book, The Art of the Pulp Fiction, which shows over 400 covers. So you don't even have to buy the books or have the books to appreciate the cover art and the artists themselves who created that art. But also, there's things behind the covers and behind the art, how the artists created these paintings, these beautiful paintings, and the models that they used, like Steve Holland, Lila Lynn, and many others. Bob McGuire used Ginny Gaynor, and there were many other models that were used for paperback covers. Even Deborah Harry was photographed as in the 60s on a cover of a few paperbacks. And Frank Frazetta the artist is photoed in a couple of Lancer paperbacks as a model in a photo. So how these books were created, how the covers were created, I think is an interesting thing. I hope you enjoyed this look at a little bit behind the cover art, and how Saul Levine used photos to create his terrific paintings. And if you enjoyed this, share it and subscribe so you can get information on when we put up new videos, and also you can see the other past videos that we've put up. This is over 200 videos we've done, and there might be some that you'd like to look at that you didn't notice about, you'd like to see. So with that, give us a thumbs up and a like, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for looking.